Good morning and welcome to the October 19th meeting of the Clermont County Commissioners. Before we start our meeting, we always open with a prayer, and today, Commissioner Painter, would you do the honor?
The honor to. If you'd like to participate, please bow your heads. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to come before you today as this Board of County Commissioners. We ask that your wisdom be within this room, for you always say that where more than two are gathered, you are there also. Lord, we ask that the decisions that are made by this board today are for the benefit of the citizens of Clermont County to make Clermont County a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Lord, we ask you to be with those who are in the uniform of the United States of America today, who secure our freedoms every day, so unselfishly, here at home and abroad. We ask you to be with all those who are in law enforcement today, all those first responders, and those who man our fire departments, who we know that they risk their lives to protect ours. Lord, we ask you to be with those who are ill and afflicted, who are unable to be at this meeting today, and that you might restore their health, that they might join us at a later day. Lord, we ask that you continue to bless Clermont County, bless the people who work here, the employees, and all of the outside agencies that support this county. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And this morning, I'm going to ask our clerk, Gail Foley, to lead us in the pledge. Sure. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gail. And I would also like to mention that we need to excuse Commissioner Corcoran from the meeting this morning. First on the agenda is the approval of the regular session minutes of October 12th, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Item C is public participation. Do we have anyone that wants to address the board today? No? Okay. Item D is a presentation. Michael McNamara, Director of Community and Economic Development. Morning, Michael.
Morning, Commissioners. Michael McNamara, Director of Community and Economic Development. So thank you for having us here today. I'm here to talk about our recent strategic planning and some of the things that you'll see on the horizon for our department. So, after coming on board in August of 2020, we saw a lot of staff changes as we were in the thick of COVID-19 and our response. And during that time, we saw small businesses being shuttered, the Great Resignation, supply chain issues, and now we have an environment of high interest rates and high inflation. Our department wanted to develop a vision and strategy that would bring stability to our division and provide a solid development plan for the coming decade. So we started this process with an internal SWOT analysis, looking at our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We also sought input from the business community, local governments, and nonprofits, as well as residents in the county. After gathering this data and analyzing our current processes, we developed a vision and a mission statement, defined 4 department strategic goals, and listed specific tactics to assist in the realization of a successful plan. Our SWOT analysis helped us to take a step back and see where we were strong, where we needed to improve, and what opportunities and threats exist in the market. We have many strengths and opportunities that include our diverse staff and the ability to help all the communities throughout the county. Opportunities come from natural industrial corridor, the potential redevelopment of 2 former coal plants, the recent passing of House Bill 377, which I'll discuss later in this presentation, and many other opportunities. The need for available industrial sites across the nation is an opportunity, as well as the technology-intensive industries located in Ohio that include microchip manufacturing and electronic vehicle and battery manufacturing. Threats include stress on the workforce. Many companies have expressed their needs for more available workforce, which is a national phenomenon. Other threats are supply chain issues, high interest rates, which can take capital out of the marketplace, high inflation, which makes capital-intensive decisions more difficult, and a general slowdown in the economy. But the economy is cyclical, and we can prepare ourselves now for the next market uptick. So we developed a survey and we sent it out to the Chamber of Commerce. We sent it out to all of our local governments as well as nonprofits and individuals in the community with whom we work. And we got 66 responses back. One of the questions that we asked was, what type of development would you like to see in Clermont County? And the top choice of all of them by far was attractions. They want to see sports fields, amusement parks, museums, things like that, things that you don't typically see in Clermont County. So in looking at our strategic plan for the next 10 years, we want to make sure we incorporate this, as well as lifestyle developments, multi-use, residential, recreational, retail, and others. They want to see a more robust park system. And with the new director that we have with the parks, we're going to be working with them very closely on a number of items, which I'll talk about here as well. Another question that we asked are, what areas would you like to see the Department of Community and Economic Development support? And the top choices for those would be business retention, expansion, and business attraction. Others would include, marketing the county, transportation improvements, hike, bike trails. And so all these top tier answers we do try to address in our plan. So in our verbatim responses, we have our word cloud here. As you can see, this helps us get an insight into what actually is on the minds of the people who are answering the survey when you take their responses that they've actually typed in their own words, and we're able to bring out those themes that come to the surface. So we developed a vision statement and a mission statement. Our vision statement is to advance job growth, improve lifestyles, and strengthen communities. Community and economic development not only tries to create conditions ripe for market growth, but we utilize our resources to improve the quality of life. You'll notice that our focus is not all about jobs. Jobs are still our top concern, but we want to make certain that we are encouraging meaningful jobs and achieving the highest and best use of properties, while also listening to the wants and needs of our local communities. Our goal is to encourage sustainable jobs for families, smart growth, and opportunity and purpose. You also notice that we acknowledge our heritage. When I came to Clermont County, the commissioners made it clear that they wanted to preserve our history and our charm. We take this charge seriously and work to make certain our growth respects our rich history and the unique character of our communities. So I'm not going to get into detail about our key initiatives, but we do have 4 strategic goals that guide everything that we do. So when a project comes into the Department of Development, we match it against these goals. And if it doesn't fit at least one of these strategic goals, it might not be a project that's suitable for our department, and we'll look for the proper place for that. So what we've done, we have a great team in community and economic development. One of the biggest changes we made is how we operate and make certain that our divisions collaborate on every project. We're blessed with a strong GIS team. No other entity in the county has a better bird's eye view of what is happening and how everything fits together than our GIS team. Kelly Perry, Chris Bussell, and Ryan Kent do amazing things and bring keen insight into each project that makes us stronger and more informed. We began a new group business retention expansion effort that allows us to visit more businesses and bring resources to our businesses than in our traditional one-on-one model. One-on-one visits are still critical to our economic health and success, but we have added the group experience and successfully executed visits in Miami and Union Townships. We're currently working with Batavia and Pierce Townships for future group visits there. We hired a new grants coordinator who's hit the ground running. Kennedy Briggs has only been with us a couple of months, but she's integral to our team and has already achieved a grant for a sculpture of President Grant that we hope to install in 2023. We now invite our local communities to local economic development forums 3 times a year. We found that more communication was needed, so we reintroduced the department newsletter. We perform more business retention expansion visits, hold local economic development forums, and we spend time in each community. In June, Governor DeWine signed House Bill 377 into law, which makes $500 million available for development in Ohio's 32 Appalachian counties. We are the second largest county by population in that 32 county region. And of the 4 areas within that Appalachian region. The Ohio OVRDC, the Ohio Valley Development Coalition, is the largest of that. Being the gateway to the east, we hope to be able to offer strong applications towards that $500 million. We have hired new permit specialists and inspectors, some of whom just joined us in the last couple of weeks and some who will be joining us later this month or in November. We hired a new plans examiner, and our inspection lead time will be down to a very desirable 1 to 2 days out as we get into November. We started a county land bank to address distressed properties and get them back into tax producing status. And we are starting a county bond fund through the Port Authority. All of these things results of our strategic planning. We had our most successful capital bill cycle ever this year with over $1.5 million for community projects, which are located geographically throughout the county. One of the benefits of our team collaboration approach was realized in the capital bill process. The capital bill process is typically relegated to the Port Authority. This year, I had our new community development administrator participate in the capital bill sessions, Desmond Mayata. We received far more applications for projects than were awarded funds. However, because of our team approach, we were able to secure funding for many of the projects that did not receive capital bill funding through other sources such as community development block grant. The key to this success is making sure that everyone on our team understands the needs of each of our local communities, and we leverage our resources effectively to make things happen. Projects that we're working on include the improvements on Route 32. You're seeing progress right now at the Elick Road intersection. You'll see work begin later on Glen Estee-Withamsville intersection. These changes will make our Route 32 development corridor more attractive as businesses want speed to market. And these improvements will improve our transportation infrastructure. We've been working with Miami Township for over a year to assist with the redevelopment of the International Paper Site on I-275. This is a large campus in a prime location. We are utilizing multiple resources to assist the project, resources from divisions that previously would never work together on such projects, such as our economic development working with community development on this. We're also able to help ColdJet in their expansion as they become one of the first tenants at the International Paper redevelopment site. So we're working with Union Township on the recent TQL expansion project, and we're proud to have such a great employer and business in a highly visible location, and it's great to work with local communities such as Union Township. And then about 2 years ago, we had our first conversations with the Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Chamber of Commerce regarding improvements at East Fork State Park. We're currently looking at accommodation solutions that include everything from adding cabins to the site all the way to a possible lodge and event center. Last month, Scott Gafford, our development specialist working with GIS and planning, Taylor Corbett, kicked off our effort to develop a master plan for the Clermont County hike, bike, paddle connectivity. We invited all of our local communities, affiliated nonprofits, Park District, Convention and Visitors Bureau, and many others to discuss the current inventory of trails and paths, canoe and kayak launches, and the needs for safety, wayfinding, and connectivity. We want to connect our trails, our parks, and our historic downtowns through an integrated system that will make our county more desirable for high-end growth while providing for healthier communities. And this is also one of the top priorities I believe you're going to see coming out of the strategic planning process for the Park District. So the cleanup at Beckford is progressing at a good pace, and we have high hopes that we will see redevelopment opportunities at this site. It has many advantages as a potential transmodal facility, access to large amounts of power, and located on the Ohio River and Route 52. It will eventually become a prime redevelopment prospect as more acreage becomes available. We'll also be starting a housing study later this year and into 2023. We want a market analysis of the inventory that we have and what we need. The results will be shared with local governments, the business community, and the public. So a concept that our department has been working on for a potential House Bill 377 funding is a plan that looks at the feasibility of an Appalachian Community Living History Museum. Like Greenfield Village at the Henry Ford Museum in Michigan, Carillon Park in Dayton, or Souter Village in Archbold, the Appalachian Village Living History Museum is a path to preserve aging historic assets while communicating a rich history to generations after us. We have an incredible story to tell, from the early mound builder Indians to the abolitionist movement, Underground Railroad, and President Grant, who helped end slavery and usher in suffrage for Americans regardless of race. Appalachian, Ohio is home to Branch Rickey, who ended the color barrier in professional sports by signing Jackie Robinson to baseball. And we cannot tell the story of Ohio's Appalachian history without discussing the science of distilling and the incredible artists who have come from this region, such as John Loveland. So our department is supporting or spearheading many other projects in the region. We're looking for prospects for a new industrial park, exploring housing improvements and corridor improvements, expanding our community education programs, redesigning our website, assisting with the regional domestic violence shelter, and much more. You'll see a lot of good news in Clermont County. I have to close by thanking the commissioners for the support of our department. We have an excellent, committed team because you have supported us as we reworked our department through a historically difficult time. You have assured the resources needed for our success, and you have also supported our efforts and connected us with the community. Without strong support from the commissioners, none of this would be possible, and so we thank you. That concludes
Thank you,
my presentation.
Michael. And I have to say, you have an absolutely wonderful department, each and every member. I don't know about Kennedy, but I have to tease her because she's young and cute and smart, but you do have a fabulous crew.
Thank you very much.
Hard workers. Thank you.
And it's, Michael, thanks for the presentation. I mean, it was very thorough and, right on point. I think we all understand that economic development, has everything to do with, moving Clermont County forward, as well as the state of Ohio, and what we see not only in our county, but what we've seen in investments here in the southern, central area of Ohio, from Intel to Honda. Having the right places prepared at the right time means everything. So I know you've got your finger on the pulse with that, and appreciate all that you do and all that the rest of the team there at Economic Development does. Let's get another big investment in Clermont County in the near future.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You bet.
Thank you. And thank your whole team, really. Anyone else for? Okay, moving on to item E, consent agenda. Commissioner Painter, we've had this in time to review. Any corrections or deletions?
None.
Should I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, Gail?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Moving on to item F, non-consent agenda. Item 7, it is the recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution number 150-22, resolving to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $2,674,491.73 as set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated October 19th, 2022, BCC directed prepaid invoices reports and or the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on October 17th, 2022, further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants for same pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Item number 8. Morning, Lyle.
Morning, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Item 8 is a recommendation to accept the following grant of sewer easement with rights of reentry for repair and replacement that will be granted and conveyed to Clermont County for utility purposes of constructing, operating, maintaining, repairing, replacing, removing, or reinstalling sewer utility lines, pumping equipment, manholes, and all incidental fixtures required for the transportation of sewage in, on, under, and across the property of the grantor. This is for project number 6402-60202 relative to the Branch Guinea Road sewer extension project located in Miami Township, with the payment to be remitted to the grantors by Miami Township and the amounts as outlined in conjunction with the memorandum of understanding with the Township Board of Trustees dated June 16th, 2021. And the grantors are Stephen and Patricia Lindner at 6042 Branch Hill Guinea Pike. And this is the second of 4 easements that we need for the project.
We've had the reading of item number 8. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call, Gail? A
Commissioner,
second.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Andy Mays?
Morning.
Good morning.
Recommendation to amend a motion relative to the U.S. Department of Transportation Motor Carrier Identification Report for the operation of interstate transportation services for calendar years 2021 and 22, as ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 10/5/22, by removing the payment of the filing fee in the amount of $199, as self-filing is at no cost.
We've had the reading of item number 9. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion?
None.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Andy. Morning, Pam.
Morning. Pam Haverfast, Clermont County Emergency Management Agency Director. Recommendation to nominate the following individual for appointment to serve on the Clermont County Local Emergency Planning Committee and to accept the resignation of the following individual as approved by the Clermont County Local Emergency Planning Committee on September 22nd, 2022, effective upon approval through August 14th of 2023, pursuant to and in compliance with Section 3750.03B of the Ohio Revised Code. So Woody Woodmansey from the County Engineer's Office has retired from the county. So we will be taking his resignation, and we will be replacing Woody with Jeff Smith, who has taken on the position as the Highway Superintendent for the County Engineer's Office.
And reading of item number 10. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion? Roll call, Gail?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Pam. Hi, Scott.
Scott Gafford, I'm with Community and Economic Development. Item 11 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 1522 to implement, establish, and describe parcels better known as 6283 and 6285 Tri-Ridge Boulevard and 6327 Lewis Road, located in Miami Township, as a community reinvestment area to be known as Miami Township Area 2. To designate the Director of the Department of Community and Economic Development as the housing officer to administer the Miami Township Area 2 CRA program, to create a community reinvestment housing council, all according to Ohio Revised Code sections 3735.65 through 3735.70, to create a tax incentive review council pursuant to ORC section 5709.85, and to authorize Bonnie J. Batchelor, President, Board of County Commissioners, to execute the Ohio Community Reinvestment Area Program petition for Community Reinvestment Area certification for submission to the State of Ohio Department of Development, and to authorize the clerk of the board to publish this resolution in a newspaper of general circulation for 2 consecutive weeks on October 26, 2022 and November 3rd, 2022.
We've had the reading of item number 11. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion?
I would just like a little discussion if it's okay. I know Jeff Wright is here in attendance today. Jeff, could you, or would you, I would ask that you come up to the podium and just kind of give us an insight as to Miami Township's position on this CRA. And I'm sure you've done a lot of work on it.
Certainly, I appreciate the opportunity, Commissioner. And I want to commend Mr. McNamara, Mr. Gafford's help on this. We saw in their presentation how they've very specifically reached out to a lot of communities. And I think this project is a very large proof that we're going to see the dividends of that. So I can't say enough good things about your staff.
And Jeff, even though we know exactly who you are, could you state your name?
Certainly, happy to. Jeff Wright, I'm the administrator for Miami Township. And Commissioner Painter's correct. We've been working on this project for 22 months now. It was the first time that the recent purchaser of the property reached out to me. And I've had a lot of conversations with my board of trustees so that we have their universal support for this. I've reached out in the past to the Milford Exempted Village School District, as well as numerous meetings with your staff and the developer and potential tenants. Something I think is unique about this site, we saw a photo in Mr. McNamara's presentation. This is also about 1/4 from our border with Hamilton County. So that's not just unique in its geography. The project is going to lend, I hope, quite frankly, to us helping some expanding companies in Hamilton County communities who have outgrown their space. I think that this location right at I-275 and Wards Corner Road is going to have a lot of potential for us to attract some new job creators. Mike mentioned Coaljet. Luckily, with the bundle of assistance that the state of Ohio, the county, and the township have worked together on, we are retaining 120 jobs of Coaljet, and they will be adding 67 new positions over the next 3 years. Their current employees there come from all over the really 7 counties, I believe, in our region do they have current employees from. Point there is they could have located anywhere in Southwest Ohio or Northern Kentucky. In fact, they looked at sites in Northern Kentucky. And another uniqueness of this project is the new owner is proposing 49 townhomes. That's going to be a new housing stock. These are going to be rents exceeding $2,000, probably going to be about $2,100 to $2,200 a month rent. That's a brand new project type of product for Clermont County. And even though I mentioned it's right on our border with Hamilton County, I think it's going to be a good test to see what the market will bear in terms of attracting new residents to our county. I noticed that high on the list of survey that Mike conducted last year was mixed use or some new type. It was very interesting that it wasn't office and industrial, wasn't in the top 3. But I think this project would speak to number 2 or 3 on that survey of our community, and that this would be a place where employees will be able to work within laboratories, research development, light manufacturing, and then also walk a few hundred feet away, I hope, to the townhome that they have invested in Clermont County, which is next to a hotel and across the street from 4 or 5 locally owned restaurants. So I think that it's a very unique opportunity. I agree with Mike when he called it a legacy site for the county. It's not easy to get people to redevelop 475,000 square feet of existing 30-plus-year-old buildings. So I know that's an awful lot of information, but there's a lot of people who have been working a long time on this together, and I cannot wait to see activity at that building. It's been empty for far too long, and so I think it's appropriate that the county and the township have worked together to take away some of the fears and concerns of redeveloping it. So thanks for your attention.
Thank you.
And I think that's a great point. This is economic development and growth that obviously Miami Township wants to do. And this is exactly the kind of partnerships that work together is where the county can assist. So thanks, Jeff, for being here today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Okay. We have a first and a second. Gail, roll call.
Okay. Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Hi, Kennedy.
Good morning. Item number 12 is a recommendation to accept the proposal and execute the contract between the Board of County Commissioners and DS2 Architects for architectural services for the design of the Community Development Block Grant Project 2019-06, the Monroe Township Fire Station number 32 addition, as detailed in Exhibit A, for a total cost not to exceed $15,000, with design services to be completed within 270 days from the receipt of the signed contract and contingent upon the receipt of the required purchase order.
Thank you. We've had the reading of item number 12. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thanks, Kennedy. Item 13, Kelly. Good morning.
I have a recommendation to execute change order number 1 to the contract for professional services with Clermont County and Wolpert Incorporated. This for the county hydrology delineation project. As you recall, our streams layer in the GIS. And we just want to extend that delivery date to June 30th of 2023 at no additional cost to the contract itself.
Commissioner, we've had the reading of item number 13. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion? Roll call, Gail?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Angie, you're going to do 14?
Yes. Item number 14 is the recommendation of Dan Alkey, Superintendent, Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities, to appoint the following individuals to serve on the Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities pursuant to and in compliance with Section 5126.022 of the Ohio Revised Code. And this is for Eric Thompson and Elizabeth Jensen. This is their first term for both of them, and the term dates would be 8/24/22 through 12/31/24.
Thank you, Angie. Commissioner, we've had the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion?
Just that I wanted to acknowledge the evaluation that Dan Otke wrote for these two particular individuals and the fact that they meet all of the state requirements to be appointed to this board. And that one of those requirements was that they now or have received services from that agency. And both of them qualify to that effect. So
And I will add, I happen to know Eric Thompson personally, and he was a client with that board before himself, so he has the experience of being there, so appreciate it. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Item number 15 is a recommendation to acknowledge the letter of intent from GSF USA to renew the contract for janitorial services for Bonnie Batchelier, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the letter of intent to renew the contract pursuant to Section 16 of the Contract for Janitorial Services ratified by the Board on 11/3/2021 for the specified buildings listed as Exhibit C in the contract for the period of 11/4/2022 through 11/3/2023, which represents the first of two available one-year renewal options.
Thank you, Wayne. Commissioner, we've had the reading of item number 15. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion? Roll call, Gail?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
And moving on to number 16, it's a recommendation also to acknowledge the letter of intent from UBM Enterprise Incorporated to renew the contract for janitorial services and for Bonnie Batchelier, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the letter of intent to renew the contract pursuant to Section 16 of the Contract for Janitorial Services ratified by the Board on 11/3/2021 for the specified buildings listed as Exhibit C in the contract for the period of 11/4/2022 through 11/3/2023, which represents, again, the first of two available one-year renewal options.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve item number 16?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion?
No.
Bachelor.
I like-
Gail keeps giving me that look. That's the only reason I said it.
We're on a roll.
I'm kind of embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. People do that.
I've been called a lot, so roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelier, Commissioner Batchelor.
Just short, Commissioner Batch.
It's easy.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Wade. Oh, goodness sakes.
Yeah. No, it's all right.
We're just teasing you, Wade.
We are. We really are.
Good morning.
Good morning. Amy Irwin, Clermont County Prosecutor's Office, Civil Division. Recommendation of Jason Fountain, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, to authorize Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute a subordination of mortgage, agreeing to make a certain mortgage subject to and subordinate to a mortgage given by Kara Mueller and William Mueller to the Huntington National Bank in respect to the real property located at 5698 Chestnut View Lane, Milford, Ohio, which is property ID 302906C053, period.
Commissioner, we've had the reading of item number 17. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion?
What is that really?
I know.
I knew you were going to ask that. I'll answer that the best I can. What it is they've gone through the septic rehab and they are refinancing. So it just puts our mortgage still on the list.
Okay.
But they have to get permission to do the refinancing.
Okay. So they're actually going to pay that cost back by refinancing?
Depending on if they live in the residence for that many
So
years
long
before
as
it's,
forgiven. Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. You're up, Greg.
Morning, Commissioners. We're here to talk about acknowledging the transfer of our Clermont County electric utility accounts back to Duke Energy for the supply of electricity effective with the January 2023 meetings and in effect meter readings and in effect through the May 2023 meter readings. This is the result of talking to our consultant. As you know, we have a contract with JMI Consulting to look at our energy usage and figure out how to get the best bang for the buck. And unfortunately, when we did our bid in 2019, it was an outstanding electric market, and we've got our rate is 0.04 cents per kilowatt hour, and we use a lot of electric. Unfortunately, that market now is upside down, and so the best strategy for us is to try to weather the short-term storm, because the long-term or the longer term, the rates are starting to come back down. So we are under contract through the end of January 2023. This will allow us to go to Duke, which already has a set rate. Now, it is an increase, but it's a lot less of an increase than we would get if we went back to the market. So the rates that we're going to have with Duke, we have over 200 and some accounts. We have 74 of them are going to go to 0.0578, and that's the bulk of our accounts. Those are our big accounts. And we have 148 accounts that are 0.0367. So it is a reduction, but those are things like traffic lights, street lights. Some of our pump stations are on that lesser of an account. Overall, we're looking at probably a 20% increase just by doing this versus close to a 40 to 50% increase had we gone out to the market right now. So what this does is gives us the ability to look forward and look to the futures market to hopefully weather the storm as best as possible when we move forward with rebidding our electric. And we are a very large customer, so we're hoping that this market will stabilize and we will get some good rates come time in May when we do start the new contracts. We're going to start the bidding process right now, and if it's advantageous for it, we'll take advantage of it. But right now, this gives us the opportunity to just kind of hold and watch what the market does.
Commissioner, we've had the reading of number 18 and a exclamation of it. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion?
And Greg, we're going to look at other alternative strategies going forward for this.
Yeah, and that's part of what the consultant is doing, is looking at, are there other ways for us to save in this volatile market? It was just a perfect storm 3 years ago. Rates were phenomenal. Now, not so much. So we're going to try to find alternative ways to get our costs down. The other thing too is the fuel is just part of the component. The rest of the components, delivery, Duke charges, that's all gone up too. I think Wade, we went up 20% in some of our delivery riders that we have absolutely no control over. Just the cost of doing business with Duke Electric, unfortunately.
Got it.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please, Gail.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Thanks, Greg.
And then number 19.
Number 19. So this is, we're moving forward with our natural gas side of it. So we are going to go out to bid for that. So it's recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution number 152-22, which authorizes the president of the board of the county or the county administrator or the assistant county administrator to execute any pricing agreement for the supply of natural gas, beginning with the December 2022 meter readings and the pricing agreements which will be presented to the county by JMI pursuant to the July 13th, 2022 contract for services. So this is actually out in the market right now. We should receive our first bid results later this afternoon. And if the results are favorable, then we will move forward with that. Just to give you some information on our gas, we use about 287,000 therms, which a therm is 1 CCF, which is a lot of gas. Our current rate right now with Lycans, again, we bid this in 2019 when the market was outstanding, 0.329 cents per CCF. The market today is about 0.085. So we're hopeful that our higher volume of usage is going to deliver us a cost that's much less than the NYMEX 0.085 per CCF. So we're hopeful that that comes in very well this afternoon. So we'll hopefully be in a good position for gas.
Thank you. Commissioner, we've had the reading of 19 and an explanation. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Gail.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you, Greg. Item number 20, we are going to table, and the reason for that is for an approval of Commissioner Painter's travel for the CCAO winter conference. And since we do not have Commissioner Corcoran here, Mr. Painter can't vote for his own, so we're going to table that until the next meeting. I need a motion to table.
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes, we will table.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yeah. Thank you. Any additions this morning?
No additions at this time.
Wow, good. So, Jeremy, let's move up then I before the H before we go into executive session, county staff elected official discussion. I don't want to make you sit there, Jeremy.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. So within the city of Loveland, there are two bridges that we are either responsible for completely or partially, according to statute. Most municipal bridges belong to the municipalities themselves. There are a handful in the county that are continuations of through county routes, and so that's why we're required to participate. As you know from your attendance at the TID meetings, the East Loveland Bridge, we've been working with the city of Loveland for quite some time, past couple of years on a project that we plan to implement next year. It's a bridge replacement. They've got some other improvements they're putting with that. Our portion of that is about $700,000 project. Project overall will be much larger. Earlier this year, Hamilton County reached out to us and said, hey, we've got a project on West Loveland Bridge a few blocks away, ready to go out to construction, $900,000 improvement. They asked us to participate. $205,000 was their request, something that wasn't on our radar at the time. So our response was, not in the budget this year. Let's talk about 2023. Dave Kennedy, City of Loveland's here. He can give you more information on what that project is, more specifics. But just cut to the chase. My reason for being here today is to request that the board consider covering that $205,000 with ARPA funds or some other way. We've talked before, we've been pretty aggressive with our bridge program. We have 16 active projects that we've pursued funding for. So if we were to participate in this West Loveland Bridge project, which we certainly can do, we'll have to push that program. So this would allow us to stay on track with what we had planned. This was kind of unexpected to us, to our budget, but so that's the reason for my request. I'd like to ask Dave, if you don't mind, give us some information about that West Loveland Bridge project.
Sure.
And before he does that,
Yeah.
Jeremy, I just ask, obviously, there are lots of other avenues to pursue with bridge money that's available from,
Sure.
the BIL Act and all of those things. Have you looked into that?
So because of timing, if we had been involved in the beginning planning stages with Hamilton County, we would have probably done that. They applied for OPWC a few years ago. We probably would have partnered on an application. Because they're ready to go to construction, by the time we were to apply or go through, it would delay the project even further. So that's why we're here. Yep.
Thanks.
Morning, David.
Hey, hi. So the project, which was actually a 2020 initially funded project, we co-applied with the Ohio Public Works Commission. The sidewalks on West Loveland Bridge, even though Loveland is in 3 counties, the West Loveland Bridge is sort of the gateway into the Clermont County portion of the city, which is our downtown district, which is obviously the most popular part of the city. The main crux of the project is the sidewalks have become impassable, simply impassable. And to repair the sidewalks, there's a corresponding effect. Jeremy will tell you, if you touch a bridge, then you must, certain items that are grandfathered are no longer grandfathered, such as rail heights. So the city jumped on board to take the opportunity to redo all the railing with some decorative railing, redo all the lighting. The delay in the project was that the sidewalks are full of conduit. So they're almost impossible to repair. You can't patch them. So the delay in waiting for Cincinnati Bell to conduit everything under the bridge is what led to the delay. And as Jeremy will tell you, anyone who's involved in public projects right now, during the delay, the project skyrocketed. The city threw more money into the project. Hamilton County was threatening to shut down the sidewalks. For anyone knows that area, that would have caused running of pedestrian traffic across West Loveland at the high speed area. The city with Jeremy and with Hamilton County all did basically a patch job by paving over the top of the sidewalks. That allowed us to keep the sidewalks open. Now we're full steam ready to go. The conduit has been moved or is ready to be moved, and we're ready to go. Then, by the way, that was a third, and Jeremy very nicely jumped in on that project. What we're doing now is we're ready to move forward. Then we've reached out to Clermont County to say, can you help, since you share in the ownership of that? And that's really where we're at right now. So it is a pretty critical project. And again, for anyone that's ever done these kind of projects, we have one opportunity for us to do the railings on that. And while we're doing that, we're also doing lighting that matches, because we're in the process of trying to combine the downtown business district with the one up on the West Loveland district. So.
And we can't have pedestrians walking on that road.
Yeah.
No, it's just, if I could, I'd like to ask our administrator to look into seeing, we have ARPA funds. If the figure I got is almost 224,000 that they would need to complete. So if we could look into that, if you could bring it back to us next week.
Yeah, it would have to come out of the lost revenue bucket
Okay.
of funds. We have about $7.9 million remaining in that fund.
Jeremy, is your recommendation that we participate in this
Yes.
for the $224,000?
Yep. Historically, we have. I think the last major rehab on the bridge was in the 70s, and the county did participate back then. So historically, it's been something that we've done. Yep.
And
And that's leading into
right.
the city of Loveland, that business district.
Right,
so
with the money that's available. I don't see any reason to postpone it.
I don't either.
I would make a motion that we participate in the East Loveland Bridge at a cost of $225,000 as recommended by Jeremy Evans.
To clarify, it's the West Loveland.
West Loveland Bridge, I'm sorry.
That's
West
fine.
Loveland Bridge,
Yes,
thank you.
There are two right now. Yeah.
I would second that, Dave. I wanted to give everyone the opportunity to think about it, but I was ready to make that motion myself, so.
Okay.
Gail, you want to do a roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Thank you both.
Thank you both for
Okay.
coming. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thanks, David. Okay, at this time, we have item H, and that is to go into executive session pursuant to section 121.22 G1 and 121.22 G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to, 1, consider the employment, dismissal, or discipline of a public employee, and 2, to confer with the prosecuting attorney concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, please, Gail.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Is this to talk about Wade not saying my name right? We have returned from executive session where we went into session for section 12122G1 and 12122G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the employment, dismissal, or discipline of a public employee and to confer with the prosecuting attorney concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action, and no decisions or actions were taken. At this time, we'll go on to item J, which is member comments. Commissioner Painter, anything else?
Just a few comments. Great meeting today. The presentation that Michael McNamara gave and
Good.
the participation from those that were in attendance today, really shows, Clermont County going forward. Many of the things that he showed on his presentation, are cured with great jobs that will support a family. And I think they were right on track, moving in that direction. Greg, you talked about energy usage. That's something that in this volatile market, definitely we want to be flexible on and be able to go whatever makes the best sense for saving the most money that we can, obviously. We're kind of energy dependent, as is everyone else. Just want to plug one more time for Veterans Day and for Operation Greenlight. Make sure that everybody in Clermont County gets a hold of those green bulbs and lights up in front of your house for the week of Veterans Day. That'll be the 7th through the 13th of November. So we're moving in that direction.
Absolutely. And I would also like to just mention, I'm glad to see that we are going to fund the sidewalks for the city of Loveland. What a vibrant city. If you haven't been there, great restaurants. It's amazing what they have done. They've come a long way since their fire a few years back. So,
and that's great in that you pointed out that, two great examples happened in this meeting today. One is, the Clermont County Board of Commissioners helping with Loveland, and the other one was, assisting with Miami Township.
Yes.
So that's what we do, right?
It's two of our biggest areas.
You bet.
Yeah.
You bet.
Well, thank you for a great meeting, and we will see you next week. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, please, Gail.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you.